Book learning alone is not enough to cultivate intelligence. All those scholars in the academia are prime examples. There have been many poorly written applications lately. I guess I'll just have to reject them all. Wait. Huh? No. Whatever. Wait. Huh? No. Whatever. The scribe's work is simple, which is exactly why I took the position. Wait. Huh? No. Whatever. There have been many poorly written applications lately. I guess I'll just have to reject them all. Wait. Huh? No. Whatever.
There's something that I'm very concerned about. Yes. I didn't mention it just now, But do you remember when I told you that the power in the crystal is very similar to mine, yet also different? The elemental power inside the crystal is completely identical to that of the fungus. What? Exactly. The prophecy that it mentioned was probably an agreement that I made with an elemental life form that once represented its race. I had to deal with the forbidden knowledge to save their homeland. The process, however, took away some of my memories. That sequence of events would explain the persistent feeling that I had unfinished business.
Makes sense. Too bad it's unable to tell us more.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of a place that fits the description of its homeland, but I'm unable to come up with anything. Agreed. I really want to send them home, so they won't have to wander around anymore.
To whoever joined the stream, welcome. Thank you for being here. I hope you're having a great day or night, depending where you are. Hi there.
The road here is a little rough. I'll lead the way.
Don't worry, Paimon can handle any road. Ah! Enemies! You're up, traveler!
I've played a little bit of the quest already, although not too much of it, just like the intro. We have this fungus who is apparently a form of elemental energy, and we've been following it around.
Here!
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Amazing. With such skills, you all would have definitely been able to find a way to survive the apocalypse.
Hey! Paimon has been meaning to ask. You all didn't originally look like this, did you?
No, we didn't. The appearance of our kind will change according to the environment.
So it has started to look like a fungus because of the environment of Sumeru?
After communicating with various living organisms in Sumeru, we discovered that fungi are the life form most adapted to live in these lands.
That makes sense. We kind of see them everywhere in Sumeru, so it'd be a reasonable thing.
Thus, we gradually took the form of fungi and became a part of their group.
To all the people who joined this stream, welcome. Thank you for being here. I hope you're having a great day or night.
It's hard to believe that's even possible.
The most important instinct any life form possesses is adapting to the environment. I don't think that should surprise you, Paimon. Your hand is shaped like that for a reason, so you are able to grip and use tools more easily.
Does she also float for a reason?
The reason why fungi absorb elemental power is to blend with the environment and fend off natural predators. We are dendro life forms, one of the most ancient life forms in this land. That is why we are so adaptable.
You also find different kinds of fungi, like extremely variable, right?
So you mean
Flying
Paimon
fungi.
wanted to? Paimon could change into a different form as well?
To a less annoying one, hopefully.
Not as freely, I'm afraid. You would require a long time to make that happen. Although this is common sense to us, it is still extremely difficult to explain. Putting it as simply as possible, changing form requires energy, and energy comes with time.
By the way, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me in chat. Feel free to do so. I'll answer them, because I do read chat, so if you want to ask me anything, you want to talk about anything, go ahead. Don't be shy.
You cannot make a sprout grow into a giant tree instantly, nor can you force a tree to bear fruit overnight.
Because, like, I'm aware that it was gone for about 3 weeks, and it kind of happened suddenly, so maybe some people are still confused about what happened. so you can inquire about it if you like.
I see. Humans have a term for this. It's called growth.
Ah, you're so smart, Nahida! Paimon gets it now!
Growth. I see. Yes, then this is what you would call growth. A most beautiful word. I shall enjoy it more as we walk.
How much farther is it?
We're about halfway there. You're doing great, Paimon. Do you need me to carry you on my back?
Huh? Oh, no! Paimon was just curious! Paimon isn't that tired.
You seem to enjoy taking care of others.
You think so? Does the Lord of Dendro need to be carried?
That would be awkward, wouldn't it? Why don't you fly up and sit on top of my head?
Wait,
We can
what did
figure
I...
out who will carry who later! We have monsters here!
I see everything.
No matter how long it's been, it still looks like it had suddenly... I think we may have a different understanding of carrying someone.
Yeah, you really miss me? Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. I appreciate all the support and the kindness. It means a lot to me. And hi there, Suki. Welcome to the stream. I was very surprised that after I came back and I made that post, a lot of people showed like a lot of expressive support. It meant a lot to me. Actually, something I want to talk about is that, and it concerns YouTube, and it kind of makes me happy that I streamed occasionally here, because while I was gone, someone commented on my last stream, and this is after I deactivated my account. Someone went under my last stream and commented, and they wrote like the most sweet message that you can possibly imagine. And that was, I guess, you know, one of the things that motivated me to come back to Twitter, because they were extremely supportive and they were very kind. So it was very heartwarming. And when I came back and I, you know, talked about what happened, I genuinely appreciate the kind of support that people showed. I just want you, like, all to know that it means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
No matter whether it's tired or not, my child is always happy when I put it on my back and give it a ride.
Child? You mean the fungi we ran into earlier?
Yes. One was my friend, and the other was my child.
Why can't your kid speak?
Because it's just a fungus. I don't want my presence to change or affect the original state of the fungi species here.
So it came from another land. It wasn't a fungus at first. It became a fungus, and then it had a fungus child. That's pretty interesting.
However, it is slightly different from an ordinary fungus. It seems to understand some human language, so I gave it a name.
Oh, then it must be a really cute name. You know, like Bongo Head.
Is that the only one that she can think of, Bongo Head?
You have an odd taste for names.
That's from the event, the fungi event that we had.
Huh? Paimon thinks that name is great.
Strange and cute at the same time. It's a name only Paimon would be able to come up with.
Yeah, but you've already named another fungus Bongo Head. You can't have two with the same name. Bongo Head supremacy. I agree. But Bongo Head is already named, right? If we name two fungi Bongo Head, it wouldn't be special anymore.
That's right.
The name I came up with was not as creative as Paimon's. I learned it from an adventurer. It's...
Unless if Paimon means that Bongo Head is supposed to refer to that specific species of fungi, like all the ones that look like this, the hydro little fungi. Maybe she means that she calls all of them Bongo Head?
Its name is... I'm sorry, but I've forgotten. Seems like I've forgotten many important things. Yes, I must remember it before I return. It's just as important as my homeland.
An interesting theme in Sumeru is that a lot of information is forgotten. It's like, since the beginning of the Archon quest, we've always encountered such a phenomenon where some key aspect of lore is forgotten by a character. We had Nahida prior to this, and now we have this new elemental life form.
Yes, this way. We're almost there.
Wait, is that a withering zone? What? Is that like new? I'm pretty sure I had explored the entirety of this place. I don't think I had left any withering zone. This has to be a part of the quest, right?
It's the withering.
Yeah, it's part of the quest. Just lurking. Wanted to say that you're glad that I'm back. Learning about Iranian Persian stuff is really cool. Happy to have me around. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that a lot. Makes me very happy that my posts are things that you enjoy.
Yes, I have heard humans also call it that before. It's the last form we take when we are at the end of our life.
Paimon doesn't understand.
So it's kind of like the equivalent of old age?
It's trying to say that when they've suffered enough and reached the end of their life, they become a tumor of the withering.
Yes, I would have also suffered the same fate if it wasn't for the Lord of Dendro's help.
So is this specific to the race that this elemental life form comes from? Like, did they all become a tumor of the withering when they reach, like, at the end of their time?
So, this is how the withering is formed?
But then we'd have to understand what race exactly is the fungi coming from.
Previous research has revealed that forbidden knowledge is the root cause of the withering. But
Okay.
even if forbidden knowledge has been completely removed, its influence still remains, which is why the withering remains even after forbidden knowledge has disappeared. They've
Right.
been tormented by forbidden knowledge for a long time. It's understandable that they will eventually become the withering. But what a sad and pitiful end.
It kind of reminds me of the fate of Hilichurls after the Cataclysm, and who were like originally the inhabitants of Chondria. You know, remember that Archon quest in which Hilichurls were being all attracted to the chasm, and they were reaching the end of their time. Kind of reminds me of that, but this is like a little bit of a more grim, transformative kind of end for whoever's affected by forbidden knowledge.
When I left my homeland, flowers like these filled the fields. Each bloom represented an individual life. They grew in the pristine lakes, in the fertile soil, in my home, and in the homes of my friends. They grew everywhere, until the world suddenly lost all its color and became tainted and murky. But it's all right. Our life essence, elemental power, still resides in this flower. After an adventurer clears the withering, I will quietly draw near the area. If I can sense the elemental power of my companions, then I take them with me.
Okay.
But that would mean the effects of forbidden knowledge could have...
It's okay. That's not important anymore. I just hope that they can all make it back home. It's not right to leave them to simply perish in the open like this. Now that we finally have the chance to return home, each one I manage to bring back will make me that much happier.
But I wonder where their home actually is. Because it mentioned it wasn't desert, and that where it came from was actually lush forests.
I understand. Just leave it to us. So you're worried about me? It's fine. Forbidden knowledge doesn't exist anymore. It's natural to want to be overcautious when dealing with a highly venomous snake, but when all that's left is its skeleton, there's nothing to worry about.
Paimon doesn't get what you two are talking about, but we're all ready to go now, right?
Welcome to all the new people who joined. Thank you for being here, and I hope you're having a good time of the day.
Then let's do this! We've dealt with the Withering countless times already!
You had no idea when you were playing? What is it that you didn't have any idea about? Like their home?
Positions! Everyone hold hands!
Rain Cutter, know my sword! Rain outlines your fate!
Wait. I just realized something.
A minute to memory.
Let me weave you a verse. Know my sword! Huh?
Here you are.
The weapon I've equipped on Nilou, it's not actually her weapon. It's, that was bad. She's supposed to have the primordial jade cutter. Okay, there we go.
As I expected, it's the last of my kind that I'm aware of.
Uh-huh. By the way, the fact that I have Nilou and Nahida, it's not from this banner. I got them originally on their banners, so I'm not wishing on this event period. I'm going to wish on the next one to get Kolve. Did I get Nilou recently? Oh yeah, I was just talking about it. I got her back in 3.1 when she came out.
So it wasn't able to make it to the end. If only it could have held on just a little longer.
I hope that you will be free of this pain after returning home.
For Nahida specifically, I feel like most people, because her banner was already very, very popular back when it came out, and like it had, I think, the most sales. But I feel like those portion of people that didn't get her back then regretted their decision a lot. So it's like this version is their chance to get her.
Just thinking about how many elemental life forms have turned into tumors of the Withering makes Paimon sad.
And I would say the same thing about Nilou, because back when she came out, there was this mentality that she's very niche and it's very limiting. She only, is useful in a Bloom team and stuff like that, which I personally didn't care about because I had been waiting for her since she was leaked. So I had saved all my friends so that when Nilou would come out, I would be able to get her. But I feel like a lot of people who didn't get Nilou back then also regretted their decision because Bloom is such a relevant and important reaction right now.
It's okay. As long as elemental power still exists, then we will still be around.
Especially with Kolve coming in the next banner, because you know that Kolve is Bloom based, so having Nilou would actually help how much output you can get from Kolve, right?
An external form is but a gift of time. Through growth comes change, and even abandonment of previous forms. However, our true nature is not so easily affected.
Yeah, you didn't get her the first time and didn't get her today either because you spent all your wishes on Nilu. Oh my god, a dream in a dream. That was you who made the comment on my last stream. I remember that. Thank you so much. That was such a sweet comment. I was talking about you actually earlier. Well, I didn't remember your name. I just remembered it now. But I was talking about how after I deactivated my account, someone went on to my last stream and put a very, very sweet comment under it, and that was like one of the reasons I got motivated to come back and reactivate my account. Thank you so much for that comment. I really, really appreciate that. It was so kind.
It wouldn't have come to this if we were able to cure them earlier. But I will cure all of them. Even if it's just for the sake of the rainforest and all the life forms that live in it.
Thank you, Lord of Dendro. It was a wise choice for us to place our trust in you and wait.
Hold on. I think I got something. Oh, I see. Okay, I understand. Thank you so much. So, they found a fungus that matches the description I gave them. It's currently unconscious.
It must be in a similar situation as I was. We should hurry and go take a look.
Also, I'm not sure, but doesn't the voice actor for this fungus sound familiar? I don't know if I'm tripping, but it sounds very similar to the voice actress for Raiden Shogun. I don't know. It sounds very familiar to me, and it sounds very similar to hers, but maybe I'm just not, like, maybe I'm just conflating the two.
Okay, follow me.
Yeah, so you noticed it too, right? It sounds very similar. Anyatko, yeah, exactly. It sounds very similar to hers. It took me like a few sentences to remember why it sounded so familiar to me, and then it clicked. It was like, wow, that sounds so similar to Raiden Shogun's voice actor. So I'm not the only one. Ah, it's in Matimo Forest. Okay, let's go. Piggy, hi. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're very kind. I hope you're doing well, wherever you are.
We're close now. It's just a little further inside.
But there are so many fungi here. They're probably all ordinary fungi, right? Yeah, they won't be happy to see us.
No fighting. These are all its family. Although we belong to different species, we've spent a long time living among the fungi. They are very important to us.
You hope I'm doing well too? Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm doing better.
They can be reasonable, as long as we try to communicate.
What should we do? You're the only one who can make it through, right? But you'll need Nahida's power if you want to save that fungus.
I've got an idea. Can you teach me how to change into a fungus?
What? She can actually do that? I thought she was able to only possess like the consciousness of living beings, but she can change?
You want to transform into a fungus? But we don't have time for growth.
Nahida is a god. Changing into a fungus should be a piece of cake for her.
Even gods can't bend the laws of time so easily.
Then we'll have to enter with the risk of being noticed. We may not be able to avoid a fight.
Just like out of nowhere she pulls, can you teach me how to turn into a fungus? It's like, you don't get to just randomly say that out of the blue.
But if spending some of my power will guarantee the safety of you and its family, then I'm willing to try.
Like, yeah, she's the Archon of Wisdom, but I don't know, man.
All right. You have great elemental power, so you may be able to do it. You will have to use power equal to that which is required to break through the limitations of time. I will lend you the relevant knowledge that I have. It should make your transformation process a little easier.
Alright, I'm ready. Changing into a fungus should be quite an interesting experience.
Lord of Dendro, this is nothing to joke about. I am extremely serious about this.
She's feeling extremely sassy today.
As am I. I'm not joking at all.
I missed a Dream in a Dreams message. That's so nice to hear and such an honor. Glad to have me back. Thank you so much. I want you to know that your message meant a lot to me. Your comment meant a lot to me. I didn't expect people to go to my YouTube channel and leave a comment, because I know I left very suddenly, and most people didn't have any form of contact with me outside of Twitter, except 2 people who I was mutuals with, and I knew them outside Twitter as well. But it never crossed my mind that, you know, I had about like 52 subscribers on YouTube, and it was like completely possible to go and you know, put a comment on one of my streams. So it was a very pleasant surprise to see that comment.
All right. Let's not get hung up here. If it's really possible to turn into a fungus, then why don't we give it a try now?
Okay. Good luck, Lord of Dendro.
Wow, you really turned into a fungus!
Just casually extends her hand and boom.
It's actually not too bad. My perspective in this form isn't much different from usual.
Ah, yes.
The unconscious fungus is just below here. Can you all help me determine which one it is?
Oh, how do we do that?
Shouldn't she take some time to adapt to her new form? It's a little too natural. It's like, that's your first time turning into a fungus.
I'll get close to them while you make your way over from above. You should be able to identify them using elemental sight, since they're elemental life forms. Then, all you have to do is repeat the correct answer in your mind. As long as I'm able to see you, then I'll be able to hear your answer.
Okay, got it.
Let me lure away the fungi up top and make way for you.
All right, good luck, Nahida. Let's go, Traveler.
This is quite something.
There's a fungus on patrol in the center there. It looks pretty vigilant, so I'd better go around.
Go to right.
Why is it reacting like that?
Dendro shroom.
Uh-oh, the fungus on patrol noticed me.
Well. Well. Did I make the wrong decision? Alright, let's try this again.
There's a fungus on patrol in the center there. It looks pretty vigilant, so
Okay, let's go to left this time then. This one is very happy go-to-lucky. Okay then.
It seems they didn't notice me.
I should have just... It was literally the first option that it gave me. I don't know why I switched to right just to make a different decision.
It seems that fungus won't be moving for the moment. I should hurry and make my way through.
I was like, you give me the left option, I'm actually going to change it to the right, because why not?
This is the spot. There are several fungi here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hide and wait for the traveler to catch up.
Okay.
So this is the one. Understood.
It was the least you could do after all that happened. Happy to know that it was something that made me feel better. Yes, it was. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot.
Nahida? What's wrong?
It finally took its toll.
I never knew that it was so tiring to change forms like that.
You realized that just now, Nahida? You didn't take a moment to think, maybe changing form to a creature that I've never turned into before might actually take a bit more energy than I would expect. Just very casual about it at the beginning.
I even used the techniques that it taught me. Seems like its warnings were not unfounded.
The power of time accumulates slowly and goes unnoticed. A great price is to be paid if you wish to perform drastic changes instantly.
Naturally.
Thank you for everything you've done. All seems to have gone according to plan. Now, we simply wait for it to wake up.
Who are you?
So it can speak the human language.
I apologize. Language is not easy. Need long time.
Oh my god, that's so adorable.
It's okay, I have good news. Let me explain it to you the fungi way.
Sounds like a baby trying to learn language. Night is like a playful child with an ancient soul.
Go home now?
And you love that about her so much. True.
Yes. Unfortunately, I've forgotten where home is. I was hoping you still remembered.
So I'm kind of guessing, but is the home supposed to be this new region that came out this version?
I remember.
Really? That's great!
Home. Dendro Dragon.
Dendro Dragon. Ah, yes! The Dendro Dragon! I'm sorry, I just got so excited. I've probably never expressed such emotions before. But yes, our home is the Dendro Dragon.
Your home is the Dendro Dragon?
Oh, wait a minute. Paimon's confused. Do you mean the Dendro Dragon as in an elemental dragon? Like Dvalin?
Yes, they're both dragons, but Apep, the Dendro Dragon, has been around for longer and has accumulated dense elemental power.
It has accumulated dense elemental power, so kind of like Ajdaha, but also different.
But I don't quite understand. Why would you say that your homeland is a dragon?
Because we live inside the Dendro Dragon.
Ah, so they're like a part of the elemental power within the dragon? That they've kind of been like separated?
The Dendro Dragon. Inside. Very big. Mountains. Water. Trees. Us.
There is an entire world inside the Dendro Dragon's body. The Dendro Dragon nurtured the earliest life forms and protected us inside of itself.
See, the more it talks, the more I'm convinced that it's actually the same voice actress as Raiden Shogun. Like at first it just sounded familiar, but right now it's just like it's too similar to it.
It once told us in a majestic voice that once we finally matured, we'd be able to start life in a new world. However, that day never came. Our homeland was the greatest place there ever was before the apocalypse arrived.
Paimon's still confused.
Yes, a very good example. It appears that you're much smarter than Paimon. The only difference is that the Dendro Dragon is much, much larger than any Dendro slime.
I love it so much that it has happened so many times throughout the Traveler's journey where a character or like an Aranara or something tells the Traveler that they're much smarter than Paimon. Just, it's so funny.
Wait, then if that's the case, doesn't that imply that Apep has also been contaminated by forbidden knowledge?
Right.
Yes, that is correct. What has suddenly made you look so worried, Lord of Dendro? I haven't seen this expression on you before.
Apep is the most adaptable life form in the world. The forbidden knowledge should have become a part of its body a long time ago. Which means that if all the forbidden knowledge has been eliminated,
then a big void will also form inside the dragon.
Makes sense.
I'm afraid so. Its body and soul have probably been in terrible shape for some time now. No wonder I haven't seen Apep for so long. But how did it get contaminated? Was it due to the destruction of King Deshret's civilization?
I'm assuming that this part of Nahida's story quest, like, considering that we, like, the Genshin page already talked about, like, Apep being a new boss, I'm assuming it's kind of similar to Zhongli and how you unlock Ajdaha, and the fact that, like, Zhongli knew Ajdaha beforehand. So it kind of, like, parallels that Zhongli story quest, but of course with the differences in context.
But anyway, Apep disappeared and has been gone ever since that time. It's been enduring unimaginable pain all the while. It's probably in pain as we speak. Yes! How could I have forgotten? If the Dendro Dragon fails to hang on, the elemental power inside it will no longer be able to maintain its form, and will all be dispersed. Dendro elemental power of that concentration will cause the rainforest to overgrow. Giant trees will completely block out the sun. Plants and humans will fight over oxygen. Sumeru will no longer be suitable for sustaining life.
That sounds like a problem.
Hey, what about the crystal? Why don't you show it to them and see if they know anything about it?
Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. We don't have time to panic. Have you two ever seen anything like this before?
No.
That was quick.
Its power feels very familiar. Like something from our homeland, but I don't know what it is. I'm sorry our memories aren't very reliable.
It's okay. I'll contact my helpers just as I did before and see if they can locate your other family members.
So who are the helpers, though? I didn't quite catch that the last time she was seeking help from them.
I'm counting on you all. Your info is crucial to us now. Let's wait for their reply again, though I know waiting can feel unbearable at a time like this.
I also want to mention that Matima Forest has some of the best soundtracks in the entirety of Sumeru. It's very different from the other parts of the Sumeru overworld because you have most of the rainforest region that sounds very like Hindustani classical music with a lot of focus on Indian instruments. But then you have Matima Forest, which is like completely different with like grim, almost like a Baroque kind of musical elements, like Baroque, as in like the classical music Baroque. It has a very different theme, I guess, which is supposed to represent the theme of Matima.
To them that you aren't hostile. After seeing you save it, its family is very grateful to you.
Go home, leave. Hard decision. Don't know. They are weak. I worry. If waiting, then I hope.
Don't worry. I understand what you are trying to say. Family is very important to us, no matter when we were actually family. It has done a lot to protect this territory and can't help but worry now that it's about to leave. Can you do one last thing for it while we wait?
Of course. I can relate to how it's feeling. I need to organize my thoughts as well.
That is very true.
Thank you. Tend soil, food. Don't like plant invasion.
Plant invasion?
There are two things that it wants you to do. One is to look after the land that the food is grown in, and the other is to drive away the plants that are trying to invade the area.
What plants?
Soil. There. First. Seed. Here.
Paimon understood that. No need to translate. We'll take care of it right away.
Yes, Sumeru soundtracks are generally very good, but Matima is just perfection. The thing about Matima is that if you know, they would play this music to you and you wouldn't know that you're in Sumeru, you wouldn't be able to necessarily tell that this relates to the other kind of music in Sumeru, with the exception of occasional instruments that you hear. Like, for example, you hear that's like the ronun, which is a music, which is an instrument used in the Middle East. Like, that's the only thing that kind of gives away that this is music from Sumeru, but like the general melodic structure of the music, it sounds much more similar to Western classical music than anything from South Asia, specifically India or the Middle East. But for this specific piece, they do use the ronun, which is the only marker, I guess. This kind of reminds me of when you plant the Viparia seeds in the Vanarana. There were like, what, 11 of them that you had to plant in Vanarana, if I remember correctly?
We planted all the seeds! It's time to handle the invading plant life!
This is the invading plant life? Oh, it's whopper flowers. Okay.
Ah! Whopper flowers! It wasn't kidding when it said plants were invading!
Rain outlines your fate.
Whew. That should be all of them. That wasn't too tough.
Yeah, I've calmed down now. But it doesn't seem like there's too much we can do until we receive some new leads.
Can you tell us about the Dendro Dragon? We don't know anything about it. Who is it? And what does it have to do with King Deshret?
Well, the history of dragons starts from the very beginning of Teyvat. Sumeru was Apep's territory. In those days, the lush rainforest covered the entire nation.
Oh, so there was no desert back then?
I mean, we kind of already knew this, like the desert didn't exist.
Not at first. That came when a giant spike fell from the sky, turning a huge section of the rainforest into sand. In an attempt to adapt to its new environment, Apep changed color from the emerald green of the forest to the yellow of the sand.
I assume the goddess of flowers also fell out there around the same time.
No wonder those two elemental life forms are always talking about the importance of adapting.
Apep has always seen itself as the master of Sumeru, and has refused to recognize the new order that was established. Even now, it probably still holds great hostility toward the gods. However, powerless against the power in the sky, and then the forbidden knowledge many millennia later, it's been unable to stir up any trouble. Conflicts between the two sides are destined to continue until a balance can be found. As far as I know, Apep had been slumbering in the desert, and King Deshret had taken a great interest in it. Maybe this is why Apep was contaminated.
But why would King Deshret take interest in Apep? Was it supposed to be like a part of his project to develop his wisdom?
I'm not sure what may have led it to become involved, but rescuing it is definitely our top priority right now. The crystal that I have in my possession is probably the key that links the two matters.
I wonder what they were thinking when they designed Matima Forest like this with like the giant mushrooms. It's a very unique design choice. Because like there is kind of like a symbolism in the naming, not like the naming of Matima Forest, but the name of the cave that is close to Matima Forest, which is called the Chatrakam Cave, which means mushroom in Sanskrit. So like there is that symbolism there, but I wonder why these giant mushrooms. It's interesting because you can see it all the way from Liyue if you look in this direction.
Thank you, Lord of Tendril. Family happy. You really like them, don't you? Family, like, do you not like your family?
Family? I suppose to Paimon the Traveler would be family, right?
That's not what Paimon meant. It's just that you guys aren't actually the same species.
Okay, and?
Does that matter? Family likes me. I like family.
Oh my god, that's so adorable. That was so cute.
Paimon doesn't quite understand.
Oh, come on, don't be insensitive. It's so simple. What is it that you don't understand?
What it's trying to say is that as long as family members get along well, then nothing else matters.
I feel like they sometimes make Paimon like extremely dense and insensitive when it just doesn't serve any purpose, nor does it fit necessarily her character. Like, I don't know why. It was just so unnecessary.
You place importance on appearances, but we do not. We find the experiences, knowledge, and connections we've made to be more important.
Although I have to say, sometimes the problem is with localization and the way they translate the dialogues from the original Chinese version. Like, for example, do you remember that event I think it was in Wine Lacefest, right? When Paimon sees the sort of like a memento left from Razor's parents, and she calls them junk, but apparently that was like an English thing. The original Chinese version didn't actually use that word. But again, like there was another instance where it shows like a very insensitive and dense side of Paimon, and it just kind of doesn't fit. I don't know why. It's unnecessary.
These are all things that are more reliable than mere external appearances. These are the fruits of time, and the essence of what it means to grow.
Oh, Paimon gets it now! Looks can always change, so what's inside of us is more important. It wouldn't matter. Paimon would still be able to recognize you right away!
Oh? Understood. Thank you. Still nothing new from the forest. Seems like we won't be able to find your other family members for now.
That's unfortunate.
It appears we are out of leads to follow. And if no one knows how this crystal works, then the pet may be in danger.
Sorry.
It's okay. It isn't your fault. I don't think it's a coincidence that neither of you can remember anything about the crystal. Maybe it's because the crystal has a very close connection to forbidden knowledge, which causes memories of it to be unclear.
That does make sense.
And if that's the case, finding the other fungi still wouldn't help us at all.
The crystal and the apocalypse. The apocalypse and memories. Lord of Dendro, do you still remember the prophecy?
I do. What about it?
The prophecy is a story that connects events of the past and the future. A family member once said that the apocalypse is a part of us, and that there is value in preserving it. The rest of the family did not approve of its opinion at the time, so it left.
Preserving the apocalypse? Do you mean that there's still some that hasn't been eliminated?
That's not very likely. The power of Irminsul covers every inch of the land. Did the prophecy say where that family member went?
To the limitless depths east of Sumeru. A murky place that no one can return from.
Aha, the chasm, huh?
Yeah, that must be the chasm, right? But what is it doing there?
It's impossible to preserve forbidden knowledge, but what if it can be converted to a different form?
Like?
I'm sorry if I'm suddenly not making any sense. However, I do think it's possible. Follow me. I'll explain it once we find that elemental life form.
Wait, what? There's an uncompleted quest? Wait, I'm confused. The Chasm Underground. It's been a while since I've actually been there. I enjoyed that region so much when it came out, especially the music. Absolutely phenomenal music. And this particular section of the underground that we're teleporting to has probably one of the best pieces of music from the Chasm. I think it's called Stories of Remote Antiquity, I think. That's what the piece of the soundtrack is called. Not just one of the pieces from the Chasm, but in general, like one of the best pieces from the game. Yeah, there it is. Absolutely beautiful.
So that elemental life form came all the way here on its own and spent a long time by itself? Wouldn't it already have become the Withering like the others?
There is a chance that it could avoid that end, using the power of something here. I'm referring to what was used to fight against the Abyss. It once repaired the rifts of Teyvat long ago.
You explored like super, but you loved it all the same? Super late? I was very excited for it. I think I explored it right when it came out.
It has the ability to purify and stabilize powers that shouldn't exist in Teyvat. Forbidden knowledge that its light has shone upon is kept here forever in a different form. Yep, it's just like soap bubbles that rise to the water's surface.
Like the theme of the chasm, I would say, was also kind of following upon what they'd already done with Enkanomiya. That is like designing a region that is that looks very abandoned, and it looks like it has a history of a lot of tragic events, and now it just looks barren. But it also has its own beauty, and it has this like melancholic music, right? So I feel like the chasm was in a way continuation of the theme of Enkanomiya, just in a different part of Teyvat, and with like its own distinct history, but nonetheless extremely beautiful, and conveying like that same sense of solitude.
Another strange metaphor, but Paimon somehow gets this one.
What the Lord of Dendron means is that the apocalypse was altered by the power of the giant spike and hidden within the oozing filth.
Yes, and it shouldn't be far from here. Let's go and take a look.
Also, the battle version of this soundtrack is an actual banger. Although I prefer the regular one, because I mean, I personally just prefer more slow, sort of melodic, sad pieces of music. But its battle version is also great. I think they did really, they did a great job with the smooth transitions from the regular soundtracks of the Chasm into their battle versions as soon as like you encounter an enemy. It was a very novel thing that I think they did really good, I suppose. Wait, do I need to use the adjuvant?
It's over there! Looks like we'll have to clear out the oozing filth in this area. You two should be able to take care of it, right?
Yep, we know what to do. We'll just use the lumen stone on the oozing concretion.
There it is, the battle version. There we go. She's gonna die.
Hey!
Rain cutter!
She didn't die after all.
Finally managed to rescue it.
It should be the life form from the prophecy.
That light!
Wait, something dark is coming out. Something's not right! What's going on? Didn't Nahida say it was purified?
Doesn't seem like it.
Maybe it's because such a long amount of time has passed. Although the power of the oozing filth is more stable than that of the apocalypse, it is still a form of dangerous power. It might have lost its mind after being soaked in it for such a long time.
Oh no! But we still have sense of
I mean, such phenomenon has occurred a lot in the chasm for creatures that have stayed for too long in there. Also, my stream seems to be very delayed from the actual playthrough that I'm doing. It's like behind by what, like 20 seconds or something?
I should be able to purge it with my elemental power. But this is our only chance.
Traveler!
It's okay. I trust your judgment. I was being a little hasty myself. Let's see if we can think of another way.
Oh, yeah! You said that the elemental power in the crystal was identical to theirs!
You want to use its power, but...
The Lord of Dendro seems hesitant. I too would advise caution. It's risky to use its power without fully understanding its intended use.
Don't understand! This no good, that no good. Save lives, important.
Oh my god.
Yes, I understand, but this is our only chance to return home. We cannot afford to be careless.
It's okay, there's no need to argue. I'll think of something to do about the elemental power that will be used. How about this? Traveler, you could try using it. I understand that you have an amazing resistance to forbidden knowledge.
Don't overdo it, Traveler. Paimon will be worried.
Alright, let's see what we're doing. It was a success.
Lord of Dendro, and you others. How long have I been waiting here?
Yay! Looks like it worked!
The Lord of Dendro, here in person. Does that mean the apocalypse has come to an end?
The voice actor for this one also sounds familiar, but I can't tell. I can't tell where in game I've heard it before.
Wait, did you get smaller again?
What? That's a great thing to say to the Dendro Archon after meeting her after I don't know how long. But more importantly, after you've been in pain and agony for such a long period of time.
I'm sorry. That portion of my memory is highly unreliable at the moment. I can't seem to remember who you are.
That sounds about right. After all, the purpose of my existence is precisely for those unreliable memories you speak of. You once said that the apocalypse will be completely eradicated, and that relevant memories will become unstable. Even you couldn't promise that you'd remember our agreement after those events take place.
Also, I'm not sure if I'm mistaking this, but is it possible that the person that made the prophecy was actually Ruka Devata and not Nahida herself? But because of what happened, Nahida kind of is under the impression that she was the one who made the prophecy? Because she does, well, no one remembers Ruka Devata anymore, right? Or am I wrong?
However, you are definitely someone who stays true to your word. My sacrifice is nothing compared to your resolve.
You and I made the agreement?
Yes, you used your power to protect me. That is the reason why I was able to survive here.
No, I was right. That is Ruka Devata.
To be honest, I'm nearing my end. I had thought I'd be stronger than this.
No one can withstand the power of the apocalypse.
In order to preserve a somewhat stable memory, I had to change the power of the apocalypse into a different form. Only the giant spike that fell from the sky was capable of doing something like that. But the moment I chose to go through with it is the moment I lost my chance of being rescued by the Lord of Dendro. But enough about me. Lord of Dendro, let's get to the important matter at hand. As you can see, I won't last much longer.
Aw.
I understand, and I'm sorry, but... Can you please tell me what this is?
This is a fire seed. It's an essential item for saving the Dendro Dragon. Thankfully, it appears to be in good condition.
Fire Seed. Why does that name sound so familiar to me? Fire Seed? Wait, wasn't that an item from Dark Souls? I swear that sounds so similar to like an item from the Dark Souls series. Like I remember seeing that in both Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. Unless I'm misremembering it.
The Lord of Dendro and our people created this item together. It mimics how the Dendro Dragon's Heart of Oasis operates.
Oh?
The Dendro Dragon has been tormented by the apocalypse for far too long. It too is nearing the end of its power. However, if you are able to reactivate its Heart of Oasis using the Fire Seed, then the Dendro Dragon will begin to recover. And as a result, our homeland will return to the way it once was.
Oh, so the Heart of Oasis is a pep source of power.
No wonder the crystal was able to heal this fungus just now. That's what it's used for.
What? You used the Fire Seed to save me?
Why? What's wrong?
That's... never mind. It's not your fault. You didn't know.
Wait, does that have like terrible consequences for them?
The Fire Seed contains a high concentration of elemental power inside of it. It's very powerful yet fragile at the same time. It is not stable in its current form. To prevent any accidents, please don't use it again.
Oh, so it's detrimental to itself.
Since I am its creator, I will take responsibility for it. I assure you there's no need to worry.
Alright. Aside from being able to heal the Dendro Dragon, the Fire Seed can also resonate with the Heart of Oasis. In other words, you'll be able to find the Dendro Dragon by following the guidance of the Fire Seed. But you should hurry. There is little time to waste.
What about you?
Forget about me. You should hurry home now.
Oh, that's so sad. Are we just gonna leave it here?
Everyone is returning home, including you.
As I told you, I've already lost my chance to be saved by the Lord of Dendro. Lord of Dendro, I thank you for coming to find me, and for being willing to save the Dendro Dragon. Our past has been saved, and our future has been ensured.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
It's enough for me, just knowing that they will return home.
Hey, wait! It turned into oozing filth.
Can you use the Lumen Stone once more? I can still feel its elemental power. Please, of all of us, it deserves the chance to return home the most.
Okay. I don't think it's gonna work though. Ah.
This is a small ball of light that it left behind.
I can feel it. I can feel its knowledge and emotions. It has all returned to its original elemental form and is becoming one with the other family members.
Okay. I suppose that's better than nothing, but still. It was kind of sad to see it gone like that.
Do not be sad, my friends. Its wish has come true, and it's very happy right now.
Because its external form doesn't matter, right?
True.
Yes, because our external form does not matter, and our home has been saved. There is nothing more important than being together with family.
Right, because at their core, they're elemental forms of energy. Even this one, it's an elemental being.
Let's go!
Ah, so we are going to the new region. I believe this teleportation waypoint is actually close to what was supposed to be the entrance, because there was this particular passageway here prior to the release of this new region that kind of looked very suspicious, like almost you could tell that it was supposed to be a passageway to somewhere new. And I think its closest sort of teleport waypoint was this one, right? It's actually the same picture that I posted on Twitter when I was announcing that I'm streaming right now. It was that particular area. But prior to the release, it was just like, that was the edge. I love how you can hear Al-Haytham in the background saying curses. There's sand in my shoes.
Follow me. We're close now.
Just the background. Alright. Let's go. She is almost dead.
No, my sword!
I don't think I've missed any... Never mind, I have missed a chest. I was just gonna say, I don't think I've missed anything here. I thought I'd explored it, but I guess not.
Body and mind.
Wait. I can't climb it? Oh, I can. Okay. That was weird. Okay. That must have been one of the very few chests that I've missed, because I'm pretty sure I explored everything very thoroughly. Okay, sorry about that. I just couldn't stand to look at that. Like, I had to get that chest. Alright, let's go.
Time to act.
I can feel its power lingering and shifting around us. Sometimes it feels distant, but other times it seems close. This is its way of warning us. It has already noticed our presence.
I like how the soundtrack just hits out of nowhere. And it's so menacing too. You needed to do the same thing. You need to explore all the deserts basically. All the deserts? You haven't explored the previous one? The Great Red Sand?
We won't be able to see anything if we keep going that way.
No, a cutscene.
Hey, look! Something's over there!
Whoa!
We found it. A pep, the Dendro Dragon.
That's a very large dragon.
Paimon knew it would be big, but not that big.
Also looks very angry.
Puny god, puny human, leave my domain. Frail life forms like you cannot survive in the endless sands of the desert.
A pep, we're here to save you.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
I do not need saving, especially not by you, Brewer. You are no different from Amun. Both of you have only existed for a fraction of what you know as time. Yet you call yourselves lords of this land by leaning on the heavens' glow.
Amun? Is it referring to King Deshret?
You're better off paying attention to your path ahead, as you will fall where you've fallen before.
I know that you hate both gods and humans, but you've grown too weak now. Can't you let go of your hatred, even for only a moment?
Let go. For only a moment. Foolish Brewer. You will find no gratefulness from me, even if you heal me.
That's kind of harsh.
You will only be reviving the dragon that will destroy Sumeru and the 7 nations.
No, you're ill, that's all.
That I am. Time will bring death to all. It's unavoidable. Although I am gravely ill, my mind remains clear. I am different from the ancient dragons that came to terms with you.
There's no need for this. There's no point in fighting. What we need is the truth.
The truth. The shackles that the God of Wisdom cannot escape from. I have paid dearly for the truth, and you shall do the same soon enough.
I have to say though, its large stature is very terrifying.
Hey, don't leave!
Imagine if we had to fight it in that form.
Careful, something's coming.
Ah! What is that? Paimon's never seen that before.
It's our family.
Aw?
Huh? They're your family too? But they don't look anything like fungi.
External form not important. Inner nature say.
The composition of their elemental power is identical to ours. In other words, they're residents of our homeland.
But they've adapted to a different environment?
Is this what they've become after experiencing the apocalypse?
This is also a form of adaptation, although a most gruesome and pitiful one. Many of our family members never made it out of the Dendro Dragon. They've gradually taken this form in order to survive the apocalypse.
Oh god, like their form just very randomly reminded me of that creature from Made in Abyss. I don't know if you've watched the Made in Abyss anime, but I think it's the last 2 to 3 episodes. They encounter that creature, which has been transformed into this very pitiful state. I don't know, it just randomly reminded me of that.
Is there any way to avoid fighting them?
Hey! Can you guys talk? We're here to rescue you!
They've given it their all just to survive.
They're being drawn by the fire seed. Only its power can temporarily free them from their pain. All that remains are the instincts to survive and search for energy needed to do so. Everything else has been discarded in the process of adaptation.
But can they be saved with the fire seed?
So this is the result of forbidden knowledge.
Would our world become the same if forbidden knowledge was allowed to rampage across Teyvat?
Well, the researchers at academia were kind of curious about it.
Like fish struggling on land, unable to find a single puddle of fresh water in the entire world.
Yes, but please try to be gentle with them. They're not evil in nature. All they want to do is survive.
Okay.
Body and mind.
Positions. I
Time to act.
My bloom does too much damage.
Paimon thinks they used up all their strength. They don't seem aggressive anymore.
I like how it doesn't even come to Alhaitham doing anything. It's just Nilou, Nahida, Xingqiu, that's it.
They want to go home. Yes, it was never their intention to leave the Dendro Dragon.
Is there a way to make them revert to their elemental form? Years of torment is what turned them into their current state. Their external form has become their shackles.
Wouldn't the Fire Seed work in this context?
It seems only the Fire Seed or Epep's Heart of Oasis can save them. But it'll be risky if we use the Fire Seed again.
Oh, right, because it said you cannot use it that freely.
Correct. We cannot use the Fire Seed again.
It's been a while since you watched Made in Abyss. You're thinking of rewatching soon and the movies for the first time? Oh, you haven't watched the movies? The movies are really good. I haven't watched the new season. I watched the first season and the movies, and they're really good. The movies especially. I would say the movies are kind of even more emotionally packed than the main first season. But I hear that the new season of Made in Abyss is even more insane than the first one. Although I haven't watched it.
Everyone goes home, not just us.
This is becoming quite the dilemma.
Let me think for a second. It's fine. Let's use the power of the Fire Seed. I can't bear leaving them in the desert like this. Don't worry, the decision is on me. I'll take responsibility for whatever happens.
Yeah, I mean, she says she'll take responsibility, but what does that even mean? Like, what if the consequences is outside her control?
It won't require much elemental power. I'm just worried that it'll become unstable. But as long as I use my elemental power to stabilize it a little, it shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you. Sorry. Stubborn.
Thank you, Lord of Dendro.
Returning home is the most important thing to you. I've come to understand that during our travels. I'm not doing this just to protect you, but also because I hope to use you and your experience and try speaking to Epep again.
Yeah, Epep is kind of in a phase right now.
After all, that giant Dendro Dragon is also your family. Maybe it would listen.
I will stand with you, Lord of Dendro. I will never forget your kindness.
Yes. Yes!
Thank you. Alright, here it goes.
Family. We will all be able to go home soon.
It worked.
Whoa. It's shining now.
Okay, that music doesn't fit this particular context. I wish it was like one of the more emotional soundtracks of the Desert of Hadramaveth. It's just too menacing for this particular situation.
Endless amounts of knowledge and emotions are moving inside of me. They're all very excited. To imagine such growth could be achieved in such a short period of time.
I mean, it did absorb the elemental energy of all the other ones, so it's not surprising.
It's because you're carrying everyone's hopes and dreams.
Yes, finally, we can go home.
This is the last part. Let's go.
Ah, okay. Wait, what did I aggro? Weird. Oh yeah, this was the entrance. Now I remember. What I was talking about earlier in the stream, that suspicious location with the huge glow of light. The entrance was here. I actually stumbled upon it, I think a week ago or something, when I was exploring this region. And I was like, wait a minute, that looks kind of suspicious. That looks like it has to serve some kind of purpose in the future. I was like, yeah, that's probably going to be the entrance to the new region. Ah, yeah, there it is. That huge glow of light. It looks gorgeous, too. Look at that. Absolutely magnificent.
This cave is huge. Could this be where the Dendro Dragon lives? Yeah. Who knows what's inside that cave?
Our goal is not only to find the dragon, but to also enter the world inside of it. That will be impossible if we can't get it to cooperate with us.
But how are we gonna do that? It doesn't seem to want to help at all.
I'll see what I can do. Pep, I know we don't see eye to eye, and that we have a very different understanding of the world and its orders. However, we are both born of elemental power, and both suffered the torment of forbidden knowledge. We are not that different. And right now, we share a common enemy. We should not let our differences get in the way.
Wonder if the Dendro Dragon's even willing to listen.
Well, it's not exactly in a good state right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't want to listen.
I don't care about what you believe in, who you hate, or what you've done in the name of hatred. Nor do I expect you to be grateful. I'm here to save both you and your people. My people. They've been searching for a way to save you ever since they left their homeland. They yearn for a chance to return home. And now that everything is over, all the hatred that you harbor has lost its meaning. Rather than continuing to fight, you should consider the life you've produced.
No response.
Your eagerness to survive means that you haven't given up on that world yet. If you claim to know so much more than I, then why don't you truly think about why you want to survive? And why you're so vengeful?
Nothing, huh?
Please keep everyone safe. And send us to the homeland.
We're getting transported to the new region. I'm excited for this. I've been excited for this new region for quite a while now. Can't wait to see. I know that it has a lot of cool references.
Nahida, where are we? Huh? And what about the Traveler? Where'd she go?
Did you hear that outside? The sound of siren? It stopped. Thank God. I experience that regularly in this side of town.
I was only able to ensure that we made it here safely. It's possible we arrived at different locations.
Well, then let's go have a look up ahead. Paimon's feeling really worried.
Yep, let's go. I wouldn't worry too much. The Traveler's no pushover.
Paimon knows that. It's just that Paimon isn't used to not having the Traveler around.
And she misses the Traveler.
Let's hurry. She might be just up ahead.
Ah, we're inside. Wait, this isn't the new region. This is just inside the... This is inside the dragon. Very interesting environment. Wait, is this supposed to be the arena of the boss fight? Oh no. My characters are all on the verge of dying. If we're gonna fight it here. Man, I'm not very confident.
That should be the heart of Oasis. All we need to do is light it with the fire seed, and it'll restore a pep with elemental power. The damage it suffered internally will also slowly begin to heal.
Then let's hurry and light it! We still need to find the Traveler!
Alright, hang on.
Uh-oh.
Wait! The fire seed! What happened?
It shattered. It was even more unstable than I expected.
Yeah, well, you did use it.
But why? We barely used it!
I'm not sure. Perhaps the fire seed was only capable of protecting one person? But if I didn't use its power on everyone, there's no way of knowing where you could have been sucked into. And even if that's the case, there's no reason for it to simply shatter, unless...
Unless what?
Unless I was already in a weakened state when I created this fire seed.
That's very possible.
Which would be when we had first saved the desert.
Oh no.
When we had first saved the desert, yeah. But it wasn't actually her, it was Rukkhadevata, right? But of course no one remembers Rukkhadevata.
Wait, let's put that aside for a moment. If the fire seed has shattered, wouldn't that mean we came all this way for nothing? Oh, do you know what we should do now, Nahida? Oh, come on, Paimon, think!
Listen, Paimon, if the Archon of Wisdom can't think of anything, I don't think there's much chance for you.
Don't worry, Paimon. This is my responsibility. The fire seed is technically just a ball of highly concentrated elemental power. Although my elemental power is slightly different than that of elemental life forms, I gained a better understanding of it when I turned into a fungus. So, all I have to do is imitate that power, while adding some of my own. And I'll be able to do what the fire seed was supposed to.
Okay.
You're gonna become the fire seed?
Yes. It'll take a lot of power from me, but it still won't be anything compared to when I was in the desert.
She's feeling very adventurous this time. First turning into a fungus, now she's gonna turn into a fire seed. Wow. That is the spirit of adventure.
I might, however, become even smaller.
Can you even become smaller? Is that possible?
What happens if you keep getting smaller?
I'll become a blade of grass or a twig. Basically, I'll return to how I was first born.
Interesting.
I will be able to unleash power beyond my limits if I can reverse the process of growth.
But you'll lose everything. You'll not only lose your appearance, but you'll lose your emotions, memories, and who knows what else?
The story of Nahida being born from a twig is actually very interesting because it shares a parallel between... it shares a parallel to a story that we have in Iranian mythology, and it kind of connects with the lore of the Sabzeruz festival and the fact that Sabzeruz itself is also based on Nowruz. So we have this figure in Iranian mythology called Siavash, and he was originally a vegetation, a plant deity. That was worshipped a long time ago in Iran as like a very large region that extended up to Central Asia. And this plant deity was worshipped as sort of like a death rebirth cycle deity. And close to the beginning of spring, which would be the spring equinox, like close to 21st of March, it would be for us Iranians the new year. Close to that, this plant deity would die, and then on the new year, it would sort of revive. It would get resurrected. So when it would die, people would mourn for it. And then when it would get resurrected, people would celebrate it, and it would be sort of like this good sign. It would be good fortune for the plants and for the year to come, for the crops. It was supposed to be like this death rebirth cycle to appreciate nature sort of regaining its life with the beginning of spring. And then in later Iranian mythology, this plant deity called Siavash was fictionalized into this epic poem that we have. And he basically he dies in this epic poem. Siavash dies, and after it dies, from its blood, a kind of twig, like a branch, comes out of it, and that branch is something we call Khune Siavoshan, right? It's supposed to be a plant that grows after it dies. And also, the story of Siavash is basically one of the speculated roots in our mythology to be the root for Nowruz, which is basically what Sap Zeruz, which is the birth of both Rukkhadevata and also Nahida, is based on. So there's like this really interesting parallel between the two stories that I wanted to share. I'd actually talked about it briefly on Twitter, but I don't think I ever talked about it to this extent. But there's like that interesting parallel.
That's all right. None of that matters compared to the dangers that Apep is facing right now.
No, wait! There has to be another way. Besides, what will Sumeru do if you turn into a twig?
Maybe you and the Traveler can plant me in the soil of Sumeru once it is all over. I can still communicate with the world through the forest. It's just that you won't be able to see me for some time.
You can't be serious. If the Traveler were here, she definitely wouldn't let you go through with it.
That's true. She would definitely stop her.
If we knew this was how you were going to take responsibility, then we never would have agreed in the first place.
I'm sorry, Paimon, but we're out of options. Not all eagles who have fallen to the ground can soar in the sky once again. But if no risks are taken, then the eagle will be grounded forever.
No. Please, no, Nahida!
I'm sorry about the noise. I don't know why they're being so noisy upstairs today. Oh, there she is. But she's kind of late.
I know. A sacrifice must be made, but not by the Lord of Dendro.
Oh no! It's gonna sacrifice itself?
We've all grown on this long journey. If the purpose of that growth was to return home, then our wishes have come true. Would you lend us your power?
You knew it would come to this.
Oh my
All
god.
the knowledge, language, and emotions that you have learned will be reverted into pure elemental energy. In your new homeland, nothing of who you were will remain. You won't be remembered by anyone. Is that truly the return you've always dreamed of?
Lord of Dendro, don't be sad. This is not your home. We go home. Lord of Dendro should also go home.
Hear us, please. Feel our heartfelt desires. Awaken!
Wow. Oh no, we're gonna have to fight it. My characters are kind of dying right now.
means you're carrying everyone's hopes and dreams.
Yes, finally.
Hold on. He's gonna die. I'm gonna need to heal him. Ooh, that's an interesting soundtrack. The cores are doing too much damage.
Let me read you a verse. Rain outlines your fate.
Flicker.
Well...
Thank you for protecting me from elemental power. Goodbye. We may never meet again. I will wait for her no matter how long it
Wait, the
takes.
voice in the memories, was that Ruka Devata? That was Ruka Devata, right?
Rain outlines your fate. Time to act.
Positions.
Witness the power of Gua.
I see everything.
No, my sword.
Everyone hold hands.
Let me read you a verse.
I see everything. Share my knowledge.
There was one of the voices in the memory was kind of the lines were blocked. Was that supposed to be Ruka Devata? Because that's what happens to every kind of information that is related to Ruka Devata. Ah, so that's the actual form.
Dance with the
It will be your name.
Oh! I forgot to enter the shield. Okay, it's fine. It is alright. This is what happens when you play Bloom Team.
positions. Everyone hold hands.
Witness the power of Gua. Body and mind.
Okay, there we go.
Rain outlines your fate.
Hey, can you hear Paimon? Say something.
Man, cores are devastating to your own character, especially if you're dealing a lot of damage. These are the consequences of playing a core-based team, but it's really fun. I have to really admit to that.
You fungi said that your form didn't matter, right? Then let us know that you're alright.
Their knowledge, memories, and emotions have been reverted to elemental power and released. They are no longer able to respond to you.
Isn't that what they wanted, though? I assume that was their dream, eventually, to return to Apep, right?
The guardians that have accompanied me for countless eras have also transformed into my elemental power, just as they did. They will be born once again now that they're one. There's nothing to be sad about.
But that's different! They won't ever be the same.
Paimon, we will never understand it, and it will never understand us. That's how it's destined to be. But as long as you can be healthy again, then nothing else matters to me, Apep. Samara will be free from threat as long as your health is maintained.
I thought that my rage would be kindled once my power returned to me. However, what I feel now is a feeling that has long eluded me. The feeling of peace.
So it was a success. Oh, that soundtrack is, it's what plays in Ruins of Dari, if I remember correctly.
The forbidden knowledge influenced you ever since you were contaminated, greatly amplifying your hatred and rage.
It's an alternative to the Vestige of Dari soundtrack. I think this one plays at nighttime, while the other one plays at daytime. This one is with piano, and the other one is with Qanun.
Yes, there's no denying that. Although my hatred for that usurper from beyond the heavens still stirs deep within me, destroying you and your people serves me no purpose. Be that as it may, my position still stands, and I will have nothing to do with you. When you inevitably perish due to your ever-expanding curiosity, I will still sneer and mock you in my heart.
Heesh, who can put up with you?
I respect your decision, and with time, I will prove to you that we will not repeat our mistakes. Before you begin resting, there is one last thing I would like to know. How did you become affected by forbidden knowledge?
It's a long story. We all once believed in the distant past that only forbidden knowledge could give us enough power to defeat the heavenly principles.
The heavenly principles, yes. The arch nemesis of pretty much all of Teyvat.
The Dragon King acquired the power of darkness from outside of this world, and led us in a fight against the order established by the outsiders.
The Dragon King, Nibelung. Huh.
Dragon King?
An unimaginable war took place in Teyvat, causing destruction on an unprecedented scale. The world itself was on the verge of collapse. In war, the victor would inherit the right to shape the world, while the losers must turn into ash. But I didn't give up on searching for a way to turn the tides, even after the death of the Dragon King.
Oh yeah, that was the piece that I was talking about. This one is with Qanun. They're basically the same melodic piece, just different instruments.
As I attempted to collect more forbidden knowledge from the corners of the world, as it was on the verge of collapse, I was stopped by the giant spike that fell from the sky. Sand dunes arose where there was only forest. And it was as if even Sumeru itself was trying to tell me that the era of the dragons was over.
But you still didn't give up, did you? Because of Amun al-Ahmar.
Huh.
Yes. Al-Ahmar eventually obtained this power with the help of Nabu Malikata.
Right. We kind of know this part of the story already.
His ambitions continue to grow, and he planned to establish a powerful kingdom in my domain.
Because we also know that the Goddess of Flowers kind of landed on Sumeru when a portion of it turned into desert.
Although I didn't think much of him, I allowed his actions under one condition. The condition was that after his death, all the knowledge he came to accumulate would belong to me. At that time, I still harbored deep regrets. By the time the Dragon King finally returned, the world had irrevocably changed. Some of the dragons have grown close to your kind, and have forgotten all about our hatred from when the world was taken from us. And some died, leaving behind nothing but their bones, while others chose to flee after experiencing pain and agony. But for me, the scales and will of the Dragon King still shine bright in my heart, even to this day.
So Epep is kind of like the only one that has kept her pride to a considerable degree.
I will follow it until the end of my time.
You really are insane.
When Alakmar's proud kingdom collapsed, I swallowed him whole as I agreed, and absorbed his elemental power. However, what I gained was no benefit. No. I gained the apocalypse. I used up all my strength just trying to keep the pain under control. I had no energy to analyze the knowledge he had accumulated. But even then, I still believed that his insanity was far greater than that of my own.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Like, Deshret was like, well, if I'm gonna die, I might as well just go all the way. And poor Epep didn't know what she was actually receiving by getting all that from Deshret.
So that's how the apocalypse started.
I admit that I fell for his trap. I was like a final failsafe in his plan. Tiny Boomer, and the rest of you, continue forward. I shall keep a watchful eye.
Tiny Boor.
How far will a life so dear and precious to the heavenly principles be able to go? I wonder.
Wow. I feel like this was like an important part of Sumeru's history that hadn't been mentioned before. Kind of like gives more insight as to like the extent of the catastrophe that was brought by Deshret. Because we read a lot in lore how Deshret brought disaster pretty much into the desert. This kind of like showcases that pretty well.
Looks like we've been sent back out. Still in one piece, too.
The dragon will need to rest for a very long time before it is fully healthy again.
So I was wrong about this being an entrance into the new region. It was just supposed to be like a portal to the boss fight itself. Well, I was under the wrong impression.
It's not as ruthless as it was before. Curing the dragon of its illness has seemingly made it more open to reason.
Nobody's in a good mood when they're feeling sick.
She's gonna bring up food now.
Even though we accomplished something really important.
Never mind.
Paimon still doesn't feel happy for some reason.
Indeed. Although they'll still have the chance to be born again, they've lost their memories of their journey and their feelings for their homeland.
It is a pretty complex situation because, I mean, technically that was their wish. Their wish was to return home, but the fact that they took sort of like all of that effort and went through all that journey itself was also extremely meaningful so for them to lose like memory of it, it's kind of tragic, even though they won't know it because now they've like just turned into elemental energy. But Yeah, it's kind of sad in and of itself.
Each opportunity for growth is unique in its own way. Perhaps the immense power we released was the pouring out of all these irreplaceable emotions that had built up over time.
Can you really call a place with no family your home?
Family. Right! The Hydra fungus left behind its family. I'd be waiting for it to return.
But isn't that just gonna be more sad, though?
Oh, yeah. Let's hurry and go take a look. Huh. How are we going to explain all the complicated things that happened?
For some reason, I thought that we were going to explore the new region with Nahida, but I suppose that didn't really happen. It just came up until the edge to fight a pep. But oh well, it was still a great journey. Okay, let's go from this entrance. But I still like doing this. Doing this quest was on the priority because you need to farm the boss for Kove, right? So this was one of the first things that I wanted to do. But like, we also need the ascension material for him, so I would need to explore the region anyway. Also, I never got to explain the story behind the Ascension Flower, which is, by the way, a really cool reference. I was gonna make a post about it on Twitter, but that whole deactivation thing happened, and well, I mean, to be fair, it was released only yesterday, so it's not like it's late or anything.
Waiting here all this time?
We're back. I'm sorry. I really am. But it's gone home and won't be able to return for a very long time.
For a very long time? So it means it might return?
Don't be sad. It did it to protect you. Your happiness is more important to it than anything else in the world. It said that Nur is its most important family member.
Nur? That means light in Arabic and also in Persian. Well, the Persian loaned the word from Arabic, but yeah, it means light.
That's your name, isn't it? Wow. This is wonderful. So it has left traces of itself after all. They will definitely meet again, someday.
I hope so. Oh, that's it? It's over? That was a very emotional story quest. We got to see a very unique side of fungi. Although we had seen kind of like something similar to it with the fungi event, but this one was much more in-depth and related to the lore itself. It's always nice to see like creatures that you normally encounter as enemies being explored in a much more in-depth kind of manner. Like I felt the same when we saw the hilichurls being attracted to the chasm, and the fact that we, or for example in Karibur, which was like a more recent one, it's always very special to see like more layers into these creatures that we regularly fight as enemies. Nur. I'm gonna take a picture with them, because why not? Wait. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now that the story quest is over, I can actually go to the new region. Since on the stream title I said that I would do the story quest and explore the new region, so I'm not going to finish the stream before actually exploring it. But I wonder, are we supposed to get there from above ground or from underground? Let's see. I can go from above. I'm actually very excited for the music of it. The thing that they have been doing the best with every new release has been the music itself. It's like it's just been consistently getting better and better. There's always that element of disappointment due to the fact that they keep over-mixing like different cultures and different languages and kind of like making this soup like that. Just that doesn't change. They do it with every new region, and they did it with the original rainforest, they did it with the desert, and I'm sure they did it with the new region as well, because I basically read some of the references, but oh well. The one redeeming factor, oh my god, what is that? What? What am I seeing? But yeah, as I was saying, like the music is the one thing that is always done extremely well. Oh my god, what? Yeah, that is in the new region. I'm gonna encounter a location here called Hang Afrosia, but it's inside the gate of Zulgarnain. Oh no! Hang Afrosia, that's a very interesting name. Hang is basically from Middle Persian, you know, like the new Persian that we have, Sad Hang. Hang was supposed to be a position, a military position in Sasanian era. So Hang Afrosia would mean like an officer of Afrosia, and Afrosia is basically a character from Iranian mythology. But it's inside the gate of Zulgarnain. Yeah. I'm not even surprised. They've always done that. You basically have Safishatranj and Panjvahe inside the desert of Hadramaveth, so what do you expect? Or the fact that you have Gurabad in the middle of a desert that is supposed to be based on Egyptian mythology. That's the oud. It's using the same instrumental as the other parts of the desert. Wow. What is that? That is dazzling. Oh. A giant tree. And the music changed. Wow, that's actually beautiful. Gorgeous. Look at all the blue flowers. Also, that music is genuinely beautiful. Is this place related to the goddess of flowers? This musical sort of theme is usually used for stuff that is related to the goddess of flowers. Wow, gorgeous. Bahari, hello. Welcome to the stream. I've already finished Nahida's story quest. Sorry that you weren't able to be here for that part of the stream, but now I've come to the new region to explore it a little. The realm of Farokhkert. Ah, Farokhkert. Well, it's actually Farokhkert, not Kert, but that's the name of the cosmic sea in Zoroastrianism. It's Middle Persian. The original name is Vorukasha in the Avestan language, but in Middle Persian it got a new name. It was called Farokhkert. But they're both the same thing. Vorukasha and Farokhkert are the same thing. Vorukasha, like the new artifact set? Yeah, same thing, yeah. The artifact set. Vorukasha and Farokhkert are literally the same thing. It's just that Vorukasha is the Avestan name for it. Farokhkert is the Middle Persian name for it. Because the thing about Zoroastrianism is that the bulk or the original terminologies in the religion are all in the Avestan language, which was the language that was spoken during the time that the prophet Zarathustra was alive. So basically all the sacred scriptures of Zoroastrianism are in the Avestan language, but because Zoroastrianism was written down the first time during the Sasanian era, a lot of the terminologies also were translated into Middle Persian, and they changed significantly. For example, Vorukasha in the Avestan language became Farokhkert. Although most of the words were just kind of changed a little bit to fit the morphology of Middle Persian, but this particular word just completely changed form, which was kind of strange, because most of the words are just like go through little changes. Like, for example, the name of the 6 divinations of Aura Mazda that we have, like on the Academia, you know, the Academia Darshans, like Spantamad, Ratawahist, right? Like those are all they all have like an Avestan version of it and like the Middle Persian version of it. For example, Spentamad is Spenta are mighty in the Avestan language, and it's Spendarmad in Middle Persian. So it's like the form is kind of like state similar between the languages. But Farokhkart was just like an exception that completely changed the word itself. You said that the morning flowers can be found here. Is that it? Man, this is this is where I regret not having Tagnari, because he would help me find the local specialties, but I don't have him on my account. Whoa. Asi Patravana. I think that's from Buddhism. I think that's a Buddhist terminology. Wow. A complete change of environment from up there to down here. A very mysterious region. I don't want to hyper focus on getting chests and stuff like that, but just because this is in my way, I'm just gonna get this one.
Don't let any of it roll away now.
One thing about Sumeru is that it made me stop using electro characters for exploration, due to the fact that when you're farming for fungi, if you have an electro character, it'll change the drops. So you need to actually not just electro, but also pyro. That's why I have been using the bloom team so much, because I can farm the right materials. Wait, what? Wait, aren't you just supposed to walk through it? What happened? No? Okay then. I'm gonna go and find the other statue. Let's teleport back. You have like 300 inactivated drops. Yeah, me too. At the beginning, I had the same experience. I think I might actually have more than that, because when it first came out, I was exploring it with Kuching. So actually, if you compare them, well, to be fair, I've used so many for Nilu and Nahida, so naturally the amount of actual fungal spores that I have should be much less, whereas the other ones I've used, oh, okay, 672 inactivated fungal nucleus. Yeah, you just compare the ratio. But like I said, like these the fungal spores, I've used these for 2 characters, Nilu and Nahida. So technically speaking, I should have much more. I love the music. Okay. Oh, that's a leitmotif. That also plays in the that plays in the other desert region as well, but with piano instead. It's the same melody. Oh, it's down? Okay. Wait. This version is played with more traditional instruments because the previous version in the Desert of Hadramavet was just played with the piano, so it just sounds like Western classical music, whereas this one sounds like much more West Asian. There's so much diversity in terms of its like fauna. Unlike the previous region, which was pretty much all just desert, with the exception, of course, of the Orchard of Paradise, Temir Mountains. Interesting naming choice. Wow. The two new realms are your favorite parts of the Sumeru Desert? Oh, is that so? Is it because of its like environmental design? Gavir Lojavard. That is another interesting naming choice. That means Desert of Lapis Lazuli in Persian. Although Gavir is a bit of an older version of desert, because in New Persian we call it Kavir, but Gavir is the Middle Persian word for it. So it kind of transitioning from Middle Persian to New Persian, it turned from Gavir and just Lapis Lazuli. It's always been like that. Desert of Lapis Lazuli. Wow, this is actually the first time a region in Sumeru uses Persian like for both of its like overall regions. Like we had, for example, in the rainforest region, we had some of them, like for example, the Ashavan realm here, right? But like the rest of them, I'm talking about like not the sub-regions, but the larger regions. Like we had the Lokapala jungle here, which is from Buddhism. I think we have the Visuddha field here, again from Buddhism. We have the Ardrovi, which is the Sanskrit version of an Avesta name. And then here we have Ashavan realm, which was the only thing that was from Zoroastrianism. So this new region is actually the first one that uses Persian for both. Specifically from Zoroastrianism. You're gonna go? So happy that you were able to catch my stream. Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much for being around. I really appreciate the fact that you stick around for all this time, and take care. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Thank you so much for engaging with the stream too. I really appreciate that. So, Gavir Lojavard. So why is it called the Desert of Lapis Lazuli then? I mean, the other one being called the Realm of Farakhkert makes sense because we have the Vorokasha Oasis over there, and Farakhkert is basically just a Middle Persian for Vorokasha, but here, the Desert of Lapis Lazuli, what is supposed to be signifying? Wow. Now what could have caused this? I wonder if this is related to Chondria. It looks kind of suspicious. I was trying to listen to the music. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention that I was going to aggro them. Okay. So,
Excellent.
does anyone know where I can find morning flowers? I want to start farming them early, but I don't know where to start. Do any of you know where I can find them? Or where should I actually start farming them? The swamp in Farrochjard. Oh really? The place that it was? Here?
This weather is
The swamp, so it should be here, right? The Asi Petrovana? I don't know how to pronounce it, honestly. I think it's Pali, right?
perfect for doing nothing at all.
I've never studied Pali. I don't know how to pronounce.
This weather
Ah, there it
perfect
is.
for doing nothing at all.
I see them. I see a few. There it is, the morning flower. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna make a post about this on Twitter because I still am not sure if I want to interact, but I'll tell you the story of what this morning flower is. There's a flower called we call it in Persian, we call it lole vajgun, which is basically like a overturned tulip, and it's supposed to be a morning flower in Iranian mythology. Do you remember the story of Siavash that I described earlier? The fact that Siavash dies. These flowers are supposed to be a symbol of mourning for the death of Siavash, so they're overturned tulips because they're supposed to be mourning for the death of it. I would have loved to post a picture of it because it's exactly how the overturned tulip looks. It's red. It's exactly like this. Let me read the description. Crimson flowers that bloom on ancient battlefields. They can even flourish in the depth of the desert. Their drooping flowers seem to be mourning for heroes long past. Oh, so it's basically the same lore. Yeah. It's supposed to be mourning for the death of Siavash. And the fact that it's an ascension material to Kolve, it's really cool. I was very excited for this when it was leaked. Glad to see it in game. There's one more over here. There are some on the eastern edge of the coast and a few in the middle of Gavir-Logevard. But for those you have to go through the world quest first. I see. Well, if I would need to do those to get those materials, then I should probably do the world quest pretty soon. Is there any other place that has it that is accessible right now without the world quest? I might do the world quest in another stream, because that was also another thing that I was excited about, considering the world quest is filled with Zoroastrian references, and I really want to play that. And I think I might play it on stream, but not now, because I'm gonna end this stream soon. Just wanted to come to the new region and actually find the statues. Grey crystals are crystals behind by the remnants of corruption. Use the power of Khovarana. Nice! To clear them out. They finally used the word Khovarana in the game. Khovarana is basically a Zoroastrian concept that means glory. It has like a lot of extensive use in Zoroastrianism. The game had already used the Middle Persian form of it as Khwara. You remember the primal obelisks in the desert, which each one has its own inscriptions. Like one of the inscriptions was Khwara, which is like the Middle Persian form of this word. And Khovarana is basically the Avestan form of the word. But we don't have the power of Khovarana right now, so we can't do anything. I suppose this is something you have to do the world quest for. There's a little water stream leading to the Archon statue in Gavir-Logevard. There are some morning flowers there too. Oh, okay, let me go and find them. Juana looked like, oh, I could have them? Really? I thought I had to do the quest. They're like Dendroceles. Oh, I see. Well, that's a little late. I teleported out, but thanks for telling me.
There's sand in my shoes.
If you didn't tell me, I would probably think that you have to do the quest. The stream, okay, I think I'm going in the right direction. By the way, Khovarana is a very difficult word to pronounce, I know. Like a feature of the Avestan language is that it has so many words beginning with the phonemes ch and v, and it kind of like persisted in the same form in Middle Persian as well. So you have like a lot of Avestan and Middle Persian words just with Khovarana like that. I don't know if there are any Iranians watching the stream. I assume A Dream in a Dream is Iranian, but the words that we have like Khordan, Khobidan, they were all Kh and V in Middle Persian, so it was actually Khwabidan and Khwardan, which is very difficult to pronounce. But New Persian made it much easier by removing that. But you know how we still write it in the script. We still write the v after the ch, but we don't actually pronounce it. If you ever wondered why, oh come on, there we go. If you if you ever wonder why we write Khobidan as Khwabidan, that's because it's how it was pronounced in Middle Persian, right? Or Khostan. It was actually Khwastan. Again, very hard to pronounce. Is that the new the Hilly Trail enemy? Oh, now I want to try that. But that music sounds really beautiful. I don't want to interrupt it. Oh, never mind. I was just minding my own business. What?
I see everything.
No, my sword.
Okay. Oh, there's actually a lot of them here. There's much more than the previous place that I explored. Treasured flower. Ah, those are the new materials that drop from the Hilly Trail. But yeah, it is as you say. It's difficult to wrap your tongue around it. Anything with starting like that is very... It's the same for another word that starts with two consonants, with kh and sh. It's like, you know the new Persian word we have for shahr? It used to be khshatra, which is another very difficult to pronounce word. It's why the morphology of the Persian language changed so dramatically. It was meant to facilitate pronunciation. The word khuwarna is something we have as khura in New Persian. But it has like a synonym. It's kind of like a doublet of it that we have as far. I don't know if you've heard of that in Persian, far. It's the same meaning as khuwarna, and it's basically because Old Persian had a separate word for it. In Old Persian, it was farna, and in Avestan, it was khuwarna, and that's because Avestan and Old Persian are two different languages. They're both Iranian languages, and they're like old Iranian languages, both coming from Proto-Iranian, but they have some key differences. And this word is one of those examples. Its form in Avestan was khuwarna, and it's in Old Persian it was farna. And both of them independently went into Middle Persian. One as khuwara and the other one as farra. And then in New Persian, they sort of evolved as far and khura. They kind of looked differently because of the way the words start. But they have the same meaning. The clients are a couple from the rainforest, both scholars from the Vahumana Darshan. The woman is already heavily pregnant. They're here to research the pilgrimage routes to the Vorukash oasis. Huh. Mercenaries age notes. Okay. I like how the musical component is like mixing Chopin with like some West Asian motifs. Because some of the motifs in there are clearly inspired by Chopin's pieces. But there's also like that underlying West Asian music. Ah, is that the new ore? What is it called? Tricherite or something? Yeah, Tricherite. Oh, come on.
Positions.
There's the Animo.
Everyone hold hands.
Rain outlines your fate.
Okay.
I hope we find long-lost ancient literature.
Okay, I think that's all that there was in this area, right? I got all the morning flowers from this one. I don't think I could find any. Like, that's all that there was in this stream. I believe I got all of it. Oh no, looks like I missed one.
Time to act.
Okay, I'm going to end the stream here. I think I pretty much achieved the purpose of what I was going to do. I did the Nahida story quest and I did a little bit of exploration in the new region. I really appreciate the fact that you guys came and joined the stream and the fact that you engaged with it. It means a lot to me and it made the experience very fun. Thank you so much for your support to my account, both on Twitter and also on here. I want you to know that I really appreciate it, and it's always very motivating to see people giving positive feedback and just in general being so kind and sweet. And it really means so much. Thank you. I will stream probably the World Quest for the new region. I don't know when, but I think that I will stream it because I want to play that. And I think it would be fun to share it with other people. But thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys the next time. Take care, and have a great day or evening, depending on when you are. Goodbye.